morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and a Story. You're gonna love today's story. Let's jump right in. If you're enjoying these stories, please hit that like button and then hop on over to that other side and hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you don't miss any of the great things we're going to be sending out. Moving forward, we're going to be sending out 3 or 4 great things every week, and I assure you, you're not going to want to miss one. Let's jump right in. Today's story is all about great customer service. When I first became a realtor, I was so gung-ho about everything. Ignorance basically blinded me, and blinded me, it did, but it blindly propelled me through the first couple years of my real estate career, and thank God it did. Okay, so I know I've told you the story before about Don and when my buddy Todd and I were going golfing, and Todd hollered across the street at Don, and Don and his son ended up going golfing with us that day. Now, when we were talking, we ended up coming back and I ended up showing him some homes. He ended up liking several of those homes, and he ended up purchasing 3 homes back to back to back. Boom, 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 really quick, right? About a week after Don had come to town and put the offers out on his properties, he came back and invited Harv. Harv is Don's best friend, and at this point in time, I hadn't even met or even heard of a gentleman named Ron, right? So it was literally just Don and inviting his best friend Harv down from Canada. And Harv was loving Don's house. We went out, we played golf, and while we were golfing there, Harv was picking my brain about the neighborhood and homes. So again, we got home and instantly had to go print off a bunch of listings and took Harv to go look at homes. And you gotta love Canadians, and you gotta love this group of guys. Literally, we were in a convertible Mustang. Hate to say this, but they had beers with them because they knew we were basically staying in the neighborhoods, and they didn't care. You had one gentleman wearing a swimming suit with a Hawaiian shirt open, and you had Harv wearing his swimming suit and another shirt open. And you're talking 2 guys, probably mid-50s, and I wouldn't call them fit by any means, just good, fun-loving, hilarious, great guys. Right? So we drive, we're luckily, like I said, we're staying close by. So we look at 3 or 4 homes. Of course, Harv falls in love with this home. So we end up putting an offer on this one particular home. Of course, after all the homes he saw, he had to fall in love with a short sale. Now, this was again 2000, I think it was 2008 or 9. And short sales were fairly new, and people were still kind of feeling their way around them. And as most realtors came to find out, if there's a first, if it's with one of the big 3 banks, that's going to suck. And if there's a first and a second, that's going to suck even more. So of course, out of all the homes Harv loved, it had to be a short sale with 2 loans. Okay? So I'm working as fast as I can. You know, we're trying to push it through. I believe it was with Wells Fargo. And of course there's a second. I forget who the second's through. But we were working. And of course, clients don't know how long short sales are going to take, even remotely. So it's kind of like, I'm gonna update you week after week after week. And the bad news is it's going to say that there was no news or bad news right up until the day that there's either great news or it falls apart, basically. So you just kind of have to make sure people are okay with updates that are literally nothing. Okay, and that's actually a good sign. So fast forward, we go 3, 4, 5 months. Of course, at this point in time, he's starting to get anxious. Okay, so I get notification that the second will accept $3,000. Okay, so I put that through to Wells Fargo for approval with their settlement that they were looking for. Okay? Now, I told Harv that the second had approved the $3,000. Unfortunately, unbeknownst to me, he thought I said we got approval. So he got really excited after he got off the phone with me. And I'm knowing that we were winding down, thank goodness, and I knew that there was a really good chance this was going to go through, but it was probably going to be about another month or so before we got final approval from the actual bank, because once they approve this settlement, then they have to send it out to the investors basically to get their final approval, all their signatures, and then you finally get the letter back, right? So I'll never forget this. Because they're going back and forth between Canada and here, one day he's like, hey Josh, let's go play golf, and then let's go tour the home when I get back, or when we get done. So it's like, great Harv, let's do that. So we go play golf, and then on our way back, I'm pulling up to the house. Now, the house it was like at a T, but it was like the second house up the road. So as you come around the corner, I see trucks out front. That's not supposed to happen. This house has been vacant for like 6 months now. And there's nothing going on. So instantly it's like, Harv, what did you do? And I didn't know he had gone and somehow made a key. I don't know how this happened. I to this day, I still don't know how he managed to get a key to the property. Okay? He might have I seriously, I have no clue to this day. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but Harv's since passed, but he never would tell me. Okay? So he's like, well, I thought we got approval. And I'm like, no, Harv, we haven't gotten approval, and then once you get approval, you still have to close escrow. And he's like, well, we wanted to redo the floor, so we thought we got approval, so we thought we'd just go ahead and get a head start. You're doing construction on somebody else's house? Harv, it's not your house. You're technically, you've broken into somebody's house, you're trespassing, and now you're technically vandalizing this property. I mean, you're improving it, don't get me wrong, but you're still technically vandalizing somebody else's property. I'm like, it still can get declined. But Harv, he's Harv. He's just a great guy. So he's like, oh, it's gonna get approved. Don't worry about it. You know, he didn't know the stress and the negotiations and how many times you just get a decline for no reason. You know, you think it's going great, and all of a sudden they're like, no, we're just not gonna approve a second. You know, we're just not going to. We walk in. They had ripped out all the carpet, the padding, the tack strip. They were putting down wood floors and new tile floors. They were basically, well, it's a short sale. There was not 1 square inch of that house that they weren't gonna touch, other than basically there was a pretty nice kitchen that was already there, and that's about it. Okay, so fans, doors, I mean, all your fixtures, your baseboards, everything that we're gonna be redoing. Okay, so I walk in and they stripped it. I mean, it's stripped. The demo's done. The demo's done. At that point in time, you have no choice. Okay? You basically tell the seller's agent that you're very sorry, your clients assumed a great deal, and they have accidentally, technically vandalized, but have improved the seller's home. So number one, sellers, please don't cancel on us and keep your home now and try to find some way to raise the price or do anything silly. Please don't get mad at my clients. How about we just proceed like nothing happened? Sound good? Oh my gosh. Fortunately, the seller's agent was as understanding as a seller's agent can be about that. and the sellers proceeded. And then the big thing was, thank God, the world's longest 3 weeks, because I told Harv that he had to stop construction. Obviously, you can't proceed. So for about the next 3 weeks, we had to wait. That's my printer making noise back there. We had to wait and just pray that it got approved, and we did. And it was a cash sale. I mean, oh man, the Canadians at that point in time, their dollar was actually above ours, so they were saving money when they bought. And quick closing, I think it was a week and a half closing. Instantly, I think they literally had our construction workers waiting for them again when we got back from the literal signing, and they got to work. And I gotta say, Harv did beautiful. I mean, their house had all the sound stuff in it. It was the social hangout. I mean, it was just great. Their pool was wonderful. They had a putting green in the back. They beautiful outdoor kitchen, a fire table. It was beautiful. And they had this little pygmy lime tree, and that thing produced like a beast. And then they ended up putting like 2 more in, and it was great. I mean, and I have to say that Dawn introducing me to Harv and Linda, his wife, Dawn and Joan changed my world as far as from business to understanding what it's like to even interact. They were my first millionaires that I'd ever interacted. And at that point in time, you realize that millionaires are just like normal people, and they are normal people. But I had a lot to learn as far as maturity. So I gotta say that I'm so grateful for Dawn and being patient to allow me to learn. And that trust, knowing that I was a new agent, to refer me to his best friend Harv. Because next week, I'm gonna tell you about what happened now that I had Harv and Dawn, what transpired over the next 2 years. Absolutely amazing. You don't want to miss next week. All right. Thank you for watching again. Hit that like button and then pop over, hit subscribe, and then check out our merch page. Check out, we really appreciate your support. So if you can, check out our Patreon page, check out our website, and of course, if there's anything we can do for you as far as property management, the real estate brokerage, buying, selling, leasing, if you're an agent looking for a new home, we'd love to talk with you. And then handyman company, I mean, we're the breakthrough companies for a reason. We'd love to prove that to you. All right, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.